Hi there, Connor here, one of the co-founders of Claris, and today we're excited to launch our new meetings feature. I'm going to run you through what's new and how to make the most of it so that you can walk into your next meeting fully prepared. So to begin with, we've got this new schedules page, and this is going to be a really quick way to see which meetings you have coming up and which meetings have been completed in the past. It's looking a little blank at the moment, so let's change that. We'll begin by going to new meetings, and I don't have any clients yet, so let's create one as well. So we have our client. Of course, if you have existing clients, you can select them from the drop down there as well. And for the type of meeting, these are going to be our custom templates that have been set up, whether they're the default ones that came when you set up the practice, or if you've created your own. So because this is the first time that we're having a meeting with Jesse, we'll do a prospect call. Now the facilitator, this is the person who's running the meeting. It'll default to you, but we can set that to whoever else in your team. And if someone else is assigned to the client, it'll default to them as well. And for the date and time, this is going to default to now, kind of rounded down to about 15 minutes, but this can also be set in the future as well. So let's leave it for now at the moment and create our meeting. And we'll be taken to a page like this. So again, because this is the first time that we're having the meeting, we don't have any Clarity Plus insights, but we do have an agenda here. Now, these are set up against the templates, which I'll run through shortly. But the idea is that it helps you, as you go through the meeting, make sure you check off all the required items and more of a proactive approach to making sure that you've gathered all the information that's needed for the file note and also the workflows down the track, rather than retrospectively figuring out that you missed something. So we can look at this as we go through the meeting and check off items. We've also got this new notes section down here. Now this is a great way to jot down any thoughts as you're having the meeting that you might not want to share with the client, or if you have some ideas after the meeting and maybe you just want to provide some extra instructions or context to Claris when it goes to generate the file note. So let's paste some example notes in here. And then just like before, we have the option to upload our recordings from this button here. And we can select a Teams meeting or a Zoom meeting or any other sort of audio file or video file. We can also paste the transcript like before, or select a transcript file if we already have one. So let's do that for this example. And then once the meeting's completed and we've provided our transcript or audio recording, we can start the processing. And this will remove all the personal information from the transcript and begin generating our file note. Now this should only take around a minute. So while that's happening, let's go check out the changes to the templates. So we'll have a look at the strategy meeting template. And we can see here, just like before, we've got our file note outline, we've got our email outline, and now we have this new section for the agenda. And here you can set up the custom agenda items, and then they'll be used in all your future meetings that you create with this template. Now we've put some defaults in against the custom templates. But if you end up creating a new one or you want to change them, very simply, as long as you have an outline here for the file note, we can get Claris to generate an agenda as a starting point. So we can just click that button and Claris will have a look through the outline that you provided in the file note and generate a custom agenda to make sure that during the meeting you cover everything that you need for that file note. And this takes usually around 20 seconds. And here we go. So we can see here Claris has put everything down that we need to discuss for this particular strategy meeting. And we can very easily edit these as well. So we can just click into them and change them as needed, or press enter to add a new item. And we can add some sort of hierarchy if we want to as well with the indentation. So maybe we want to put goals, and then all we need to do is press tab, and then we can indent that here. So that's looking good. Let's save that. And we'll go back and see what's happening with our file note. So if we click on meetings, now we can see that that meeting we just had has shown up on the schedule as 18 minutes ago. And the green tick here means that it is completed. So let's click into that. And here we go. Here's our file note that we can see on the left here. And just like before, we can copy that to the clipboard, whether it's plain text or formatted. We can download a docx version of it. And on the right here, we have the history of the agenda items that we covered off, as well as the notes that we provided during that meeting for reference. I've got the email here as well. And like before, we've got the transcript. One thing that is new is that we can delete that transcript if we want to. So once we've reviewed the file note and can confirm everything is looking good, let's delete that. And that will clear the transcript and clear any recordings that you uploaded from our storage and servers. So you can see here that now it's been deleted. Now, if we have a look at this meeting, everything looked like it went pretty well, and Jesse is keen to have a follow-up meeting, a strategy meeting. So let's go and create that. And we can see that, Tuesday or Thursday afternoon is preferred. So we'll head back to our meetings. We can go new meeting. We'll select Jesse. We'll select the strategy meeting, and we'll schedule this for next week, 2 p.m. And so here we have another draft meeting, but because we've already had a meeting with Jesse, we have the Clarity Plus Insights on the client. And these are super handy to help you understand what their situation is and their background and what we spoke about during the last meeting, things that we need to cover during this meeting, some personal details, and just general conversation starters. And so this can be, you can have this here before you go into the meeting, or you could keep it up during the meeting as a reference point. And then on the right here, we have the agenda that we just created for the strategy meeting. Again, we just go through this, check things off, and make sure that we cover everything we need to before we generate that file note. And if anything needs changing, such as the date, the time, the facilitator, even the meeting type, we can do that very easily just by clicking edit. And we'll need to change that to a Friday, 10 a.m. Now, one handy feature is with Clarity Plus, we can see here, maybe we want to make sure we cover these items off during the meeting. Very easily, we can select them, copy them, then come over to the agenda, and we can go to create a new item and paste them in. And we can see we have a line by line item of extra things that we need to cover based off the Clarity Plus insights. And if we incorrectly selected the meeting type, or it needs to change, we can very easily do that. And the agenda items that we just pasted in there remain the same. And then the new agenda items from the discovery and engagement meeting will show up rather than the strategy meeting items. So very easy to edit and prepare for your meetings. Now, in the previous meeting that we had, I uploaded a transcript file, but we do have the new option for doing a live recording through Claris. And so this can be good for if you're in an in-person meeting, or if you have some sort of Teams or Zoom meeting and you just have the audio coming through the speakers. Claris can pick that up as well. So we can do that by clicking live recording and then click start recording. And here we can see that the recording starts, and as I'm speaking, we can see the waveforms for the audio show up there to confirm that it is picking up my microphone. And you can pause that if you need to, say something off file, restart it, and then when you're done, just click stop recording. And here you can very quickly preview or listen back to the recording if you want to. And if you're happy with it, we'll click that green button to use it. And that will upload the recording, and it shows up just as if you uploaded the recording of your Teams meeting. And then once that's all ready to go, we can begin processing again and create our file note. And then that meeting, which is scheduled for next week, has also shown up in our schedule here. So that's a quick run through of the new meetings feature and the new schedule layout and the layout of those pages. If you're a long-time user of Claris and you're used to the more of that inbox style list, we still have that. That can be found under the meetings and under the notes section. And here is exactly the same as before and has all the same functionality. The only thing to note is that both the file notes from this view and the meetings in this view are exactly the same thing. So if you create a meeting here, it will show up on the file notes list. And if you create a file note here, it will also show up on the meeting schedule. So they're the same thing. It's just that the schedule and the meetings specific page has a few more handy features. So we'll be keeping this around for as long as needed, and you can still continue to use this, but we definitely recommend moving over to the new schedules and the new meetings so that you can take advantage of things like the Clarity Plus and the agenda items. So there we go. That's a quick run through. Again, super excited to get this live and really keen to hear your feedback. So if you have anything, please do send it through. Thank you.